everyone, my name is Julian Kaday and I will be the one to discuss the relationship of mathematics in nature. First thing first, what comes to your mind what is the word mathematics is? Mathematics is the science and study of quality, structure, space, and change. Mathematicians seek out patterns, formulate new conjectures, and establish truth by rigorous deduction from appropriately chosen axioms and definitions. Sinasabi dito na ang isang matematika daw ay mayroong ding wika. Isang pag-aaral ng mga patterns, isa ring halimbawa ng sining, meron din itong proseso ng pag-iisip at isang set ng mga tool sa paglutas ng problema. And here are some definitions of mathematics in nature. Did you know that mathematical patterns may be seen in nature as well? And they provide a sense of structure and order that makes it appear like only humans are able to create these complicated, wonderful forms. Dito tinitignan ng ilang mga individual ang mga formasyon ng kalikasan bilang katibayan ng isang matalinong disenyo dahil sa pananaw na ito. Next, look at the picture below. Ang picture na ito ay minsan ko nang nakita sa loob ng museum. Recall that symmetry indicates that you can draw an imaginary line across an object and resulting parts are mirror image of each other. The axis shown by the dotted line in the above illustration is symmetrical. Tandaan na ang mga bahagi sa kaliwa at kanan ay magkapareho, and most animals, kasama ang mga tao, have this sort of symmetry, sometimes referred to as line or bilateral symmetry. Example of nature of mathematics. Can you find out what is this picture? Of course, it's sunflower. And did you notice something about the flower? There is a circle inside of sunflower and this so-called circumference an example of patterns. The enormous golden heads of sunflowers stand out beautifully against a clear blue sky. Of course, the majority of us also like eating the seeds they generate. Have you ever taken your eyes off the arrangement of seeds inside those unique flowers? Sunflowers are a mathematical marvel in addition to being a delicious dish. Do you know that the Fibonacci sequence serves as the foundation for the sunflower seed design? And now to discuss the patterns in mathematics, here is Miss Beatriz Lamadrid.
Thank you, Miss Kaday. In mathematics, a pattern is a repeated arrangement of numbers, shapes, colors, and so on. The pattern can be related to any type of event or object. If the set of numbers are related to each other in a specific rule, then the rule or manner is called a pattern. Sometimes patterns are also known as a sequence. Patterns are finite or infinite in numbers. Here are the following types of pattern that we have discussed. First is arithmetic pattern. The arithmetic pattern is also known as the algebraic pattern. In an arithmetic pattern, the sequences are based on the addition or subtraction of the terms. If two or more terms in the sequence are given, we can use addition or subtraction to find the arithmetic pattern. For example, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, blank, 14. Now, we need to find the missing term in the sequence. Here, we can use the addition process to figure out the missing terms in the patterns. The rule used is add 2 to the previous term to get the next term. In the example given above, take the second term, which is number 4. If we add 2 to the second term, we get the third term, number 6. Then we can find the unknown terms in the sequence. First missing term. The previous term is 10, therefore 10 plus 2 equals 12. And the second missing term is 14, so 14 plus 2 is 16. Hence, the complete arithmetic pattern is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. Second is the geometric pattern. The geometric pattern is defined as a sequence of numbers that are based on the multiplication and division operation. Similar to the arithmetic pattern, if two or more numbers in the sequence are provided, we can easily find the unknown terms in the pattern using multiplication and division operation. For example, 8, 16, 32, blank, 128. It is a geometric pattern as each term in the sequence can be obtained by multiplying 2 with the previous term. For example, 32 is the third term in the sequence, which is obtained by multiplying 2 with the previous term, 16. Likewise, we can find the unknown terms in a geometric pattern. The first missing term is 32 multiplied by 2, we get 64. The second missing term is 128. Multiplied by 2, we get 256. Hence, the complete geometric pattern is 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, and 256. Now, let me call on Mr. Tongwal to discuss what is Fibonacci sequence all about.
The Fibonacci sequence is named after Leonardo of Pisa. Isa siyang Italian mathematician better known as Fibonacci. Fibonacci was an Italian number theorist na pinakilala ang isang malawak na hanay ng mga ideya sa matematika. Kabilang na ang Arabic number system, the idea of square root number sequencing, and even math word problems. He is credited with finding this sequence while investigating a hypothetical group of breeding and reproducing. The Fibonacci sequence has a lot of intriguing characteristics. One of these is the fact that the pattern is apparent in nature. The Fibonacci sequence can be found in many attractive patterns, for example, the spiral pattern of sunflower seeds, the number of petals of a flower, and the form of a snail shells all contain Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci numbers ratio is approximately equal to 1.618 or golden ratio number. The golden ratio can also be expressed as the ratio between two numbers if it is also the ratio between the sum and the larger of the two numbers.
That concludes our discussion for Chapter 1. We are now going to proceed with Chapter 2. May I call on Mr. Fernandez to discuss his part.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bakay. And now, I will discuss the proposition and symbols. So, ano nga ba ang proposition? Proposition is a declarative statement which is either true or false. Pero hindi pwedeng maybe, dapat sure ka kung true ba or hindi. We also have the variables used to represent proposition. And the most common variables used are P, Q, R, and S. Kapag naman ang sentence ay cannot be classified as either true or false, it is not a proposition. Kasi ang proposition, masasabi mo kung true or false. If hindi mo masabi kung ito ay true or false, this is what we call paradox or not proposition. So here, I have two examples of proposition and not proposition. First example, Manila is the capital of the Philippines. This is a proposition kasi masasabi natin na ito ay true kasi Manila is indeed the capital of the Philippines. The second example is, what time is it? At kung titingnan natin yung punctuation mark, question mark siya, so hindi ito declarative sentence. Specifically, ito ay interrogative sentence, kaya hindi siya proposition. First, I will define simple proposition. Simple proposition is a declarative sentence which does not contain a connective. And this is a proposition that conveys one thought. Here, I have two examples of simple proposition. First, Mr. Bakay is doing an excellent job as a leader. Second, Ian likes to play video games. So, etong parehas na example na to is nagko-convey lang siya ng one thought at hindi tayo gumamit ng any connective. For our compound proposition is made up of two propositions joined together by the connective. I have here one examples of compound proposition. Mr. Fernandez is good at dancing and Miss Kaday is good in singing. Yung word na and is ito yung tinatawag natin na logical connective, which is ito yung nagko-connect sa sentence. Now, what are the different types of compound proposition? First, conjunction. Tapos ito po yung symbol niya, para siyang arrow na nagpo-point upwards. Conjunction is a compound proposition which consists of two propositions joined by the connecting words. I have here one example of conjunction. 5, 7, 9 are odd numbers and 4, 6, 8 are even numbers. Ang ginamit natin na connecting word is and. Ito yung nag-connect sa sentence natin. Is disjunction. Ang symbol naman niya is ito, yung parang kagaya lang siya sa conjunction pero nagpo-point downwards. Disjunction is a compound proposition which consists of two propositions joined by the connective na or. Meron dalawa tong disjunction which are the inclusive and exclusive disjunction. First, inclusive disjunction. It means when at least one of the two proposition is true. I have here one example. I can either go play volleyball or just watch the game. Dito sa inclusive disjunction is pwede kang mamili kung alin lang dito sa dalawa. And next naman po is exclusive disjunction. It means when exactly one of the two proposition is true. I have here one example. Either Bea is sleeping or playing games. Dito sa, exclusive disjunction is, isa lang yung pwedeng maging true dito kasi dito sa example natin, hindi naman pwedeng gawin ni Bea na matulog tapos naglalaro ng games, 'di ba? Next is conditional. Ang symbol naman ng conditional is arrow siya na nagpo-point dito sa right side ko. Conditional proposition is a compound proposition which consists of two propositions joined by the connective if, then. Example, if I was an astronaut, then I can look at the stars all the time. Kung magiging astronaut daw siya, matitingnan niya yung stars palagi. So, ang condition dito, kailangan niya muna maging astronaut para makita niya yung stars palagi. This is biconditional. Ang symbol naman po nito is arrow siya na nagpo-point siya sa magkabilang side. Biconditional proposition is a compound proposition which consists of two propositions joined by the connective phrase if and only if. Example, the polygon is square if and only if it has four sides of equal length and four right angles. Lastly is negation. Ang symbol nito is para siyang noodles pero tinatawag natin ito na tilde. The negation of a given statement is a statement that is false whenever the given statement is true, and true whenever the given statement is false. Example, the Philippines elected corrupt politician. Kapag inenegate mo siya, the Philippines does not elect corrupt politicians. Thank you for listening. The next topic is all about conversion and truth tables. Mr. Bakay, the floor is now yours.
Thank you, Mr. Fernandez. For the last part of our discussion, we are now going to tackle conversion. I'll be teaching you how to convert sentences into proposition symbols and vice versa. Let us take a look at these three examples. Number 1. Face-to-face classes will resume if and only if the country has achieved zero COVID cases. Assume that our premises is face-to-face classes will resume. And Q, or our conclusion, is if the country has achieved zero COVID cases. The answer, or the symbols, would be P, biconditional Q. Second, Tony is absent but Julius is present. Now we are also going to assume again that our hypothesis is Tony is absent and the conclusion is Julius is present. Then the answer would be, or the symbols goes like this. P to the conjunction symbols. Lastly, if my sister pays the electricity bill and I pay for the water bill, then my mother will be extremely happy. Let us assume again that our P is if my sister pays the electricity bill, and Q would be I pay for the water bill. Then our R would be my mother would be extremely happy. So the answers goes like this. The quantity of P conjunction Q to the conditional of R. That concludes for our discussion on the conversion of symbols to propositions to the propositions to the symbols. Now let's take a look on our next discussion, which is the truth tables. For our truth tables, we need first to analyze the meaning of each compound proposition before proceeding to the truth table itself. As you can see in our table that we are now sharing in our screen, first is we have the hypothesis or the premises and our conclusions o tinatawag natin na P and Q. So for our third column, which is P, the symbols of this junction Q, we are going to consider true our conclusion except if both P and Q are false. Again, for our disjunction, all are considered true except both P and Q are false. So, kung mapapansin nyo, lahat dito is true. But, if ang ating P and ang ating Q ay nag-false both, doon lang magkakaroon ng conclusion na ang ating disjunction is F or false. Second is the conjunction. So for our conjunction, if both P and Q are true, then true. If both P and Q are false, then false. If P are true but Q are false, then false. If P are false but Q are true, then false. So, medyo nakakalito siya, pero simple lang naman yung gusto niyang iparating. Okay? So, if ang ating P and Q are true, then our conclusion will be true. Okay? Our conjunction will be true. Also, if ang ating P and Q are false naman, false din yung magiging sagot. Then, if P are true but Q are false or vice versa, then false pa rin yung magiging sagot. Third is the conditional. For our conditional, all are true. Okay? All are true except if P are true but Q are false. Then, false yung magiging sagot natin. So, ang titingnan mo lang dito is yung magiging false na conclusion. Sabi, if P are true but Q are false, then false. So, titingnan natin yung P and Q natin kung if P are true, then Q are false, then false. As you can see, then lahat is naging true na. Lastly is the biconditional. It is same with conjunction, except if both P and Q are true, then true. If both P and Q are false, then false. So, same lang naman siya sa conditional. Titingnan mo lang natin yung P and Q are true, then true. If P are false, then if both P and Q are false, then true pa rin siya. Hindi ka guys sa conditional na if P are Q but if P are true but Q are false, then false. So, titignan natin mabuti yung ating truth tables para ma-identify natin kung ano yung magiging application natin to our next. Let us now apply all the learnings we have discussed earlier. Let P is equals to Tony is absent, Q is equals to Julius is present, then R is equals to they are both different. Hence, our statement goes like this. If Tony is absent but Julius is present, then they are both different. The symbols would goes like this. The quantity of P to the conjunction of Q from the conditional of R. So basically guys, our P, Q, and R will be our first, second, and third column. Then for our fourth column, we have P to the conjunction of Q. Then our last column, which is fifth column, would be P to the conjunction of Q. Then isasama na natin si conditional R. So, paano siya mangyayari? So, as you can see in our table, ang ating P, magkakaroon muna ng apat na T or true and apat na false. So, T, 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 then F, 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 F. Then for our second column, which is Q, magkakaroon ng dalawang T, dalawang F, dalawang T, dalawang F. So, T, T, F, F, T, T, F, F. And for our third column, alternate na siya. So, T, F, T, F, T, F, and T, F. Okay? Then, for our fourth column, which is P to the conjunction of Q, so, since conjunction siya, di ba? Sabi natin sa conjunction kanina, if both P and Q are true, then true. If both P and Q are false, then false. But if P are true but Q are false, and if P are false but Q are true, then both are false. So, titignan natin siya dito na if P are true and Q are true, then true. So, hindi na natin papansinin muna si R kasi hindi pa siya kasama doon sa ating truth tables. Okay? So, if magpo-focus tayo dun sa false. Okay? Ay, dun muna sa true kasi siya yung mas parang onte di ba? So, if both P and Q are true, then true. So, titignan natin yung P and Q natin kung may dalawang true. So, first row, meron, that is true. Second row, true. Then, kung mapapansin nyo sa third to 8th row, magkaiba na siya. So, therefore, our conclusion would be TT, then all is F or false. And lastly, for our last column, which is the P, dito na natin ipapasok yung symbols talaga ng ating statement later, a while ago. So, that would be the conjunction, P to the conjunction of U, the conditional of R. So, conditional yung gagamitin nating compound proposition, and then titingin tayo dito kay fourth to the third. Di ba? Mas, kanina ang ginawa natin is first to the second. Ngayon, fourth to the third. So, pabaliktad na siya ang pagtingin. So, for our conditional, all are true. except if P are true but Q are false, then the answer would be false. So titignan natin yung T are true, then Q are false. So dito natin mauuna sa fourth. If P are true but Q are false, then false. Then yun lang naman yung T natin sa P and Q. Lahat is F na, diba? So therefore, yung second row lang ang magiging F natin. So our conclusion would be TF, TP, TP, T, and T. Therefore, we can conclude that the given proposition is fallacy since it is not consistently true. So as you can see in our truth table, magiging fallacy ang isang truth table if hindi siya consistently true. And a while ago or earlier, diniscuss nga natin na ang second row is may F. So kahit isang F lang yan, fallacy na agad yan. And how about if lahat is true and it would be considered as consistently true? Ano naman ang tawag? Then, in that case, our truth table will be called tautology. Thank you everyone for watching our animated video. We hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. We worked hard to create something unique and engaging, and we hope it was able to capture your attention. If you have any feedback or suggestions, we would love to hear from you. We appreciate your support and are grateful for the opportunity to share our work with you. Thank you again for watching. For our first question, how did you come up with the task? The idea of making a reporting for our Peta 1 is very difficult to digest by the group since it goes beyond the holiday seasons. However, to be easily accessible to the reporting by ourselves, we create an animated video which the characters will be shown, will be the one to report, but the voiceovers of the members will be heard in the video. In addition, the group came up with the idea that we want to create something that was visually appealing and interactive for our audience. We also wanted to take a different approach from traditional videos and bring the ideas to life through animation. We also thought it would be a fun and creative way to convey the message. Second question, how did you plan your task? As a group and as a leader, we began by brainstorming different ideas for our animated video. We discussed the purpose of the video and what we wanted to achieve with it. We then created a rough outline of the story or the report and identified key points that needed to be included. From there, we divided up the task and assigned roles to each member of the group. We also set deadlines for each phase of the project to ensure that we stayed on track. Throughout the process, we continuously communicated with each other and made adjustments as needed to ensure that our final product was the best as it could be. Third question, did you get any help or support? Yes, we received help and support from a variety of sources during the creation of our animated video. We received guidance from our instructor and mentors who provided us with valuable feedback and suggestions. We also received support from our peers who offered their expertise and assistance in certain areas. Additionally, we utilized online resources and tutorials to help us better understand certain techniques and software. Overall, the support we received was instrumental in helping us successfully complete our project. What are the challenges you have encountered while doing the task? There were several challenges we encountered while creating our animated video. One of the biggest challenges was managing our time effectively and meeting deadlines, especially that the task runs within the holiday break. It was important that we stayed organized and prioritized our responsibilities. Another challenge was finding the right balance between creativity and functionality. We wanted our video to be visually appealing, but we also had to ensure that it conveyed our message clearly and effectively. Finally, there was a learning curve when it came to using the animation software, as none of us had extensive experience in this area. We had to spend time learning and practicing different techniques to ensure that our final product met our standards.
The challenges that I encountered during making the task is a little bit of tiredness because it's a holiday season and our family is busy preparing for both Christmas Eve and for New Year. But it also challenging for us because it will be able to help us to handle the simultaneous tasks at home and the schoolworks.
For me po, ang pinaka-challenge na kinaharap namin sa paggawa ng task na to is yung natapat po siya sa holiday season. Kasi po, di ba, starting December pa lang po, very maingay na po yung surroundings natin. Marami na pong nagkakasayahan kasi malapit na po yung Christmas and New Year. Marami na pong mga video okes, mga speakers po. So, for me, ayun lang po yung pinaka-kinaharap namin na challenge. Pero the rest naman po, wala na. Kasi very cooperative naman po lahat ng members, nagpapasa on time. Yung leader po namin, magaling siya kasi namamanage na po kami and nagaganahan po kami magpasa kasi pare-pares po kami na gusto rin namin matapos agad yung task na to kasi po para nga po ma-enjoy na lang din yung Christmas break, para wala na rin po problemahin po. Ganun lang, yun lang po. Thank you.
I didn't have a hard time finishing my part since I had a lot of time to accomplish my task during the vacation, and all of our parts were very easy for us to finish on time.
I never had any problems doing my tasks because I had a lot of time doing it during the holidays, and the tasks that were assigned to us were not too hard for us to do.